Playing on a Budget is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the best Magic the Gathering singles and sealed retailer on the internet, GatheringMagic.com, your #1 source for Magic the Gathering news and content, and RogueDeckBuilder.com, my personal channel filled with innovative and entertaining Magic the Gathering rogue brews. Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com here with this week's episode of Playing on a Budget. I'm going to stick with the enchantment-based theme. I'm really liking this Grave Strength, so I thought I'd go this other route with Grave Strength in a more of a aggro deck rather than a combo deck. And we're going to use a card that I didn't think saw enough play at the end of the Theros block, which is Strength from the Fallen, which says whenever Strength of the Fallen or another enchantment enters the battlefield, target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So we're going to try to fill up the graveyard through the Satyr Wayfinders, the Commune with the Gods, and the Grave Strength. Now we have a recurring way to put enchantments into play through Pharika, God of Affliction. The only problem with this deck is I'm wondering if I want to use Master of the Feast in this deck, or if Hooting Mandrils will do the job. Now, Hooting Mandrils is really good in this deck because of the Delve. We'll be able to delve away wasted lands or wasted grave strengths or wasted communes and be able to get a 4/4 trample. And then this way, the Hooting Mandrill can push through. We also have the haste, pseudo haste through the flash ability through Boon Satyr. And then we can go big with Nighthowler as well. But I'm wondering if these Nighthowlers need to be the Master of Feast. I'm not a big fan of Master of Feast, except for the fact that usually we try for a one-turn kill, so Master's not going to get them a lot of card draw, and that 5/5 body for 3 is very relevant in this format, and I might just need to end up taking out like Gnarled Scarhides or Spiteful Returns, and then just going into every one of our cards becomes a huge threat. We do want to be able to cast them, but I mean, if we have like a Herald of Torment, and then they kill it, and then we counter the next turn with a Master of Feasts, then, I mean, they're going to continue to have to draw the removal or just plain die, and that might just be the way to go. I don't know if this Gnarled Scarhide or Spiteful Return will be relevant. One of the problems I'm having is, against token-based decks, I try to kill and they just chump block. So I'm thinking that Hooting Mandrils is the right way to go. And we have some other sweet little techs in this. We have a Become Immense, just a one of. I used to have 4 in here, and it worked pretty well, but you don't want to see multiples of these, and right now I don't have any way to get stuff out of my hand, like discarding a card from my hand, so the Become Immense is kind of meh in this deck. So, anywho, it's just very straightforward. I kind of want to... We're only playing 20 lands in this because of the Satyr Wayfinders, and I have 2 Evolving Wilds that might want to be like a Bloodstained Mire or a Wooded Foothills, except... we couldn't get the temples into the deck due to budget. Speaking of budget, let's just bring up the prices here. These prices are brought to you by our sponsors, CoolStuffInc.com. So we're running at $70.31. The Temple of Maladies are like $11 a piece, so we do not have room for them in the deck. Plus, I'm a little bit iffy about comes into play tap lands, so we are just going to run the Evolving Wilds as a 2 of. That actually adds to our delve count, which is a little bit relevant with the Hooting Mandrils. And it also filters our deck a little bit. So the expensive cards is still going to be the Llanowar Wastes. These are $8 a piece. That's going to run us at $31.96. We have a few pricey cards with the Pharika, God of Affliction. There's actually 2 of them, one in the main, one in the side. We have a Nylea, the God of the Hunt, at $5.49, and 2 Whips in the side, which will really help us against the aggro-based decks. So other than that, everything else is under $1.50 in this deck. So we'll just go back to the deck tech. In the sideboard, we have like Murderous Cuts. These are going to be brought in versus any sort of problematic card that might come out early, like Seeker of the Ways. I think I'll bring in Murderous Cuts, like Seekers in the other 2/2 lifelinker, Soulfire Grandmasters. We have 4 Drowned in Sorrows against the aggro decks. We have 3 Brain Maggots. Again, these might need to, subject to change. I might want Master of Feast, especially with Whip of Erebos. So I might end up throwing Whips main board and Doomwake Giants main board and going this higher curve type strategy. But if that's the case, we'll have to go up to more lands. And Master of Feast might want to be in this deck. Again, I have to really just play around with this deck to see exactly what the right list is. There are some cool cards like Roxasha's Death Dealers, the 2/2 for 2 that you can pump. I thought about the Nemesis of Mortals, which is the 5/5 worm, or snake actually, that you can cast for the more creature cards in your graveyard, the cheaper it is to cast as a 5/5, and you can actually make it a 10/10 quite easily with Monstrous. The problem with that is it just gets chump blocked. And again, so really the iffy card is going to be Master of the Feast in here for the 5/5 body, 5/5 flying evasion body. So we'll queue up here and see what if this deck has any merit to it. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Playing on a Budget. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Gathering Magic and check out our Playing on a Budget playlist, which contains every episode. Thanks again and hope to see you soon.